Hello students, welcome back to Algebra 1B. Today we're going to be factoring trinomials with a leading coefficient. Now we have done something like this before. However, in the past I've always been able to factor out the leading coefficient nicely without having to deal with fractions or decimals. So in this case, I see I've got 5b squared minus 19b plus 18. If I tried to divide it by 5, I would get a very difficult situation because I would end up with 5b squared minus 4 I don't even want to do that decimal. I would have 19 fifths b plus 18 fifths. And if I went into decimals, this would turn into minus 3.8b plus 3.6, like that. Now, you could do that. We would start thinking, what two numbers multiply to 3.6, but then those middle boxes would add up to negative 3.8. That seems like it might be kind of difficult. So, let's not. Now, the other way to do that is by factoring it exactly the way it is. And this is where it gets a little tricky. So, here's the thing. I've got b squared right here. I'm sorry, 5b squared. And then I've got 18 here. I need these two boxes right here to add up to negative 19b. Now this one's kind of easy because there's only one way to get 5b squared. In order to get the b squared, I have to have a b here and a b here. However, in order to make it 5b squared, I would have to have one of them be a 5. So it doesn't matter which one you choose, you can just stick it on whichever one you like. But there, 5b times b is 5b squared. Now here's where it gets interesting. This box right here becomes special now, because whatever number I put here is going to end up getting multiplied by 5. So I don't need two numbers that multiply to 18 but add up to negative 19. What I need is two numbers that multiply to 18 that make these two middle boxes add up to negative 19. So 18 could be 1 and 18, or it could be 2 and 9, or it could be 3 and 6. And we need it to be positive 18, but we need them to multiply to negative 19. So I already know they're both going to be negative. So there's no real trick to this one. We just pick and we start trying them out until we get the right answer. So 1 and 18 seems kind of big. That logically doesn't seem like it would work. So I'm going to go ahead and try 2 and 9. I'm going to put the 2 here and the 9 here, and we'll go ahead and make them both negatives. Now 5 times negative 9 would be negative 45b, and then negative 2 times b would be negative 2b. That obviously does not add up to negative 19, so it's wrong, and I'm going to go ahead and erase it. Now here's the weird thing about this one too. The order that you put them in matters in this one. So what if I put the 9 on this side and the 2 on this side? That's going to give me different results. So 5b times negative 2 would be negative 10b. And this would be negative 9b. And oh, there it is. Negative 10b and negative 9b. That makes negative 19b. Which means that my factored trinomial would turn into 5b minus 9 and b minus 2. Now let's go ahead and do one that's a little bit more complicated. Now the thing that makes this one more complicated is the fact that the leading coefficient is a 10. That doesn't seem like a complicated number, but 10 could be, if I went and made my box, I could have 10r squared here and negative 8. I could get that by saying this is 10r and that's r, and that would make 10r squared. The thing that makes this complicated is that 10 is not a prime number, it's a composite number, which means there's more than one way to multiply to get 10, so that could be 2r and 5r. So how do I know which one's the correct one? Well, you don't. You just got to try it until you find the right answer. Now, luckily, we've got -8. There's not a whole lot of ways to get 8. I can do 1 and 8, or I can do 2 and 4. So thankfully, I don't have a whole lot of things to try out. But if I want to start trying stuff out, let's see, 2 and 4, and it needs to be negative. So one of them needs to be negative. But this is going to give me 10r and 8r. Nope. Yes. 10r and 8r. And regardless of which one of those is negative, it's not going to make it 79, so I know that's incorrect. So I'm going to go ahead and switch them and see if I put the 4 here and the 2 here. This is going to be 20r, and this is going to be 4r. And again, regardless of how I put the negative in, that's not going to work. So, what if I try 2 and 4 on this one? 2 and 4, and I'm going to get 20r and 4r. That's not going to work. If I switch it, put the 4 here and the 2 here, 40r and 2r. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's not going to give me 79, however I put it together. So I've tried all the combinations of 2 and 4 and nothing worked. Now, I guess I'll go ahead and try 1 and 8. If I put the 1 here and the 8 here, this is going to be 8r and 10r. That's not going to work. That's not going to give me 79. Now, what if I put the 8 here and the 1 here? This is going to give me 80r, and there's 1r. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. 80 and 1, that would make -79 if the 8 was negative, because then that would make this -80. So 1 and -8, 1 times -8 is -8, but then -80r plus 1r is -79r. So at this point, I found the correct factorization, which would be 10r plus 1 times r minus 8.